So, now that this is actually recording and whatever, I decided I'm just going to record not quite a rant, more just a stream of consciousness, because, as you can tell from the background oh so behind me, I have gotten off recently a rewatch of Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, the sub is good. The sub is quite good. The sub and also the two compilation movies that followed suit. I just felt like, I got a bit of a stream of consciousness going, so let's talk about it. This isn't like some in-depth review or analysis of the series and it seems whatever. No, I'm just talking about a show I like, because, hey, I hadn't rewatched it in years, and now that I have, it's still a fun show. Gurren Lagann is definitely a show that is absolutely one of those anime which I would totally recommend to somebody if you're trying to get into a show or you want to see something interesting. It's kind of the flip side of, like, the more depressive mecha shows. As many people say, there's some good videos about it, is Gurren Lagann is the answer, effectively, to the question Evangelion poses. Not that Evangelion doesn't come to an answer about the question. It has, especially with the rebuild movies that have come out recently. But Gurren Lagann was a different time. It was a lot more hot off the heels of Evangelion than the rebuilds were. And, the rebuilds are far more recent, so in retrospect, I'm just rambling about that. But, it's a great series. It got me into so many good songs. Heck, it's the entire reason I listen to Shoko Nakagawa when it comes to Sinner. It's a good show, though. I'd actually recommend watching it in both languages, because the sub and dub are good with the original. The compilation movies are not bad, if mostly just kind of clip shows, effectively. They don't change too much, but they do change some stuff, and the stuff they do change is really fucking good. But as a series, it's fun. It's a show that's unashamed to be fun, to be stupid, and to just embrace the stupidity, and to just let it be its thing, rather than bogging itself down with overly explanation, like, oh, what's spiral power and how does it work? It's basically just battle spirit taken up to the nth degree. That's all you need to know about it. That's all it needs to be. Nothing more complex than that, or trying to go into some esoteric description of how it applies to biology. Like, no, it's just people who are so fucking awesome they can bend reality. That's about all they need to do. The aesthetic is fun, though, too. Like, I really like how throughout the series it always keeps this consistent aesthetic of just faces on everything. Just everything has a face, even if it's the robot, even if it's a goddamn battleship, even if it's the moon, it has a face. Which then ends up making the things that don't have defined faces really freaking weird. Like the anti-spirals. Which, the show has, like, I would say animation-wise, has maybe showed its age a bit. I mean, it's from, like, freaking 2007. It was bound to happen. But it still looks really good in the movie, especially with the additional sequences of the segments from the show that it changes, is really fucking good looking for movies that came out in, like, 08 and 09, I think is what it was. But it's just, like, I'm not going to spoil anything again. This is stream of consciousness rambling. No spoilers here for anybody who miraculously has not seen this show or doesn't know about any of the spoilers that go on. Just, give it a high recommendation, give it a good thought, and the show itself is worth the watch, though there are some oddities, like episode 4, which, if I recall from what people mentioned, was actually done by a different studio than Gainax, which makes it a bit weird and jarring, because the animation style is, like, totally different, like, the art style changes and everything. It's, it makes a bit of an oddity, and it was actually kind of jarring to see it again. But it's just a show that, like, hey, it knows where it is, it knows where it wants to go, and even when it temporarily changes tone a bit, it's like, okay, give it a few episodes, we'll be back to where we were. We gotta change tone to set the stage, and then it's just gonna be high octane all the way. And, like a Gainax show from the time, it's, plenty of fan service here and there, not, like, overexposure much. This ain't, like, Kill la Kill, though Kill la Kill was Trigger first, but, Gurren Lagann was made by people who would go on to make Trigger anyway, so it's not that big of a deal, so. But aside from the anime, which is a pretty good, it's just a decent, like, 27 episodes, worth the watch, definitely. Has a lot of fun designs, a lot of fun fights, a lot of cool things to happen in it. But then the movies. The movies were kind of interesting to watch, again, because, like, a lot of anime movies that are based off a full series, they kind of just scrunch down what happens and maybe change a few things here and there to keep it coherent. But the Gurren Lagann movies are kind of ones you got to go into it. It expects you to have seen the original show, because it kind of just pares down a lot of stuff to, like, hey, Remember these episodes from the show? Cool. We don't have the room to fully adapt this segment in some way that actually matters, so just keep in mind it happened. And just run with it. But I really think the thing that the movies do best is just like the segments that it changes up when it asks you for time. Such as the such as like the big battle with Simone's speech and stuff in that episode that, I won't spoil the context behind, but you know what speech I mean. And then of course the second movie, how it changes up the whole finale into this big bitch behind me. Which is just one of the greatest fucking fusion sequences? Is it technically a fusion sequence? It's technically a fusion sequence. Technically still a Gatai. Even if it involves going from mechas to whatever Cho Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann is. Not really sure we can call it a mech at that point. It's just raw spiral energy with a Matryoshka doll of mechas inside of its head. Yeah, no, if you're looking for just a fun ride of an anime with a lot of action, a lot of heart put into it too, like, it's a really fun, heart-filled ride with, like, characters who don't get, like, the most development. It's not a super character-driven show. It's literally just how hot-blooded can the character be, and do they make it through the end or not, which, depending on the movie or the anime, can change based on the body count. The movie lessens the body count significantly. The anime was like, final few episodes, how many people can we get away with killing and still have the finale happen the way it needs to? We can get away with half of them. So it goes. That's still kind of spoilers, but hey, it doesn't matter if I don't say who died. Though granted, I do understand there's still a lot of contention about the ending and how it went, but, Super Robot Wars fixes it. Like it fixes everything. Whatever. Stream of consciousness done. This lasted about 7 minutes. That's all it needs to do. Just go watch Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann and keep in mind the words, don't believe in me. Believe in the me who believes in you. Or believe in the you who believes in yourself. And do the impossible, see the invisible, row, row, fight to power. I can't rap to save my life, so I won't even bother. So, I don't even know if this is going to be that good of a video. It's not. It's just a stream of consciousness, and that's what it is. So, yeah. May your drills pierce the heavens. And no, that's not an innuendo. Shut up.